Coming up on Let's Get to the Points.
Tonight, we are talking everything about the Hilton Honors Award Program.
Serena, didn't you also consider booking the LXR in Doha?
Oh, yes!
But you didn't, so...
I know. I decided to just stick with you guys at that junky little Hyatt.
So I want to know what your favorite Hilton property that you stay at is. You cannot pick Waldorf or Conrad, Maldives, Serena, and Mitch. Please follow the rules. Do not mention the Maldives.
Can I just talk about these little things that I have here? These gift cards from Hilton. So
I'm just going to go over a few properties that you might want to look into if you have some Hilton points and you want to get the most bang for your buck.
I would like to use my Hilton free night certificate at the Park Hyatt Kyoto.
Now, let's get to the points. She loves elevating family travel into a luxurious, affordable, and unforgettable experience. It's Serena. When he's not on the road, he's finding the deals that'll get him there. It's Miguel. She has taken her family from Spirit to Etihad First Class, but she's only loyal to a great deal. It's Nicole, and his true love is traveling the world in first class, using his points and miles, that is. It's Mitch Shannon.
hi there. Thank you for joining us on Let's Get to the Points video audio podcast, where we bring you the very best in tips and tricks in the world of miles, points, and travel. I'm Mitch Shannon, joined by my co-hosts who love traveling the world with their families using their credit card points and miles. First up, some of her good friends are Conrad and Paris Hilton, of course. It's Serena.
That's hot. Hi, everyone.
He loves any points he can get his hands on, even those Hilton Honors points. It's Miguel.
Hey, what's up?
And we've finally got her to take the plunge into the world of Hilton, and she's got a lot to share with us tonight, don't you, Nicole?
Hi, guys. How are you?
Please help us out. Click that subscribe button now to our YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you watch or listen. Also, don't forget, sign up for our weekly newsletter where we send you the latest in the points and miles world. Now let's do it. Let's get to the points. We continue our deep dive series, or what I like to call these days our megasodes, with another show exploring the world of hotel points. And tonight we are talking everything about the Hilton Honors Award Program, from earning to burning points, some of their sweet spots for redemptions. We're going to be sharing and talking about some of our favorite properties, and even discuss, could Hilton offer the best hotel credit card of any hotel credit cards that are out there right now. A lot to think about, a lot to talk about tonight. But first, Hilton Honors, it's the award program for Hilton hotels. And there are many pros and cons to this program. We're going to discuss them all tonight. And as always, we invite you along to our discussion online by leaving us a comment below. All right, what do you all think, gang, about starting with a little Hilton trivia on the show tonight? What do you think?
Another game show, Mitch?
How about a little music?
Cue the music.
You're going to play music.
Here's some quick Hilton trivia for you tonight. So first question, let's see who gets this one right, or closest, without going over. How many properties does Hilton operate?
5,000.
13,600.
800.
What a wide range.
That's kind of all over the map, huh? Miguel, I think you're the closest. It's just about 7,000 properties that they operate.
I think Nicole was doing the Price is Right. $1. Just one property. I don't want to go over.
It's a smart strategy, Nicole. I like that. All right. Next question. How many countries does Hilton operate in?
150.
80.
175, Bob.
Oh, so close. Are you ready for this? 123 countries.
Wow.
What'd you say, Serena?
80.
So I'm closer, but I went over.
I don't think we really established the rules of this trivia game.
All right, so then I win. 2 for me.
Yeah, you win. Okay, next question for you. How many distinct brands does Hilton have?
24, Bob.
I was going to guess 15, but...
We can stop right there. You got it right on the nose, Nicole. 24 distinct brands. All right, final question. Let's see if you know this one. What year did they start the Hilton Honors Loyalty Program?
1918. Oh, wait, that was like the Spanish flu or something. Never mind.
Wow.
I know something happened in 1918.
1919.
1920.
Wow. 1987.
What?
No, that's not right.
No.
I want to check your facts, Mitch. It's definitely not 1987.
No, I said, when did Hilton Honors, their loyalty program, start?
Because I'm
the
Jamaican and it all
loyalty
means the same
program.
thing. Yeah.
I didn't hear that part.
So then I was really close. Well,
We
if it would have been the hotels, because I just guessed. I'm pretty good at this.
I think you guys were all confused. I think I think he was born in the late 1800s. No, the Hilton Honors program, that didn't start till 1987.
I think we all were talking about when the chain started, the hotels, not the loyalty program.
Well, that's what makes it unique, right? Is being able to use these Hilton Honors points. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So let's get started and dive in.
Hilton has 24 distinct brands, and they have separated them in an unusual way. Normally, hotels give a specific name to each category, but Hilton decided to go with more of a description for each one of their categories. So at the higher end, we have luxury getaways. And then we have local escapes, maybe if you want a staycation. There's also premium experiences, curated collection. There's a suite for every guest, elevated essentials. There's also Grand Vacation, which is kind of like a timeshare, Auto Camp, which is for camping, and the new addition that they stole from Hyatt, small luxury hotels of the world.
I think we need to have a drinking game. Every time Nicole says Hyatt,
Yes.
everyone's got to take a drink.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to start with Serena and Mitch's favorite, the luxury getaways. Under the luxury getaways is Conrad, Waldorf Astoria, and LXR. Have you guys ever been to any one of these type of, what am I asking? Of course
What are you asking?
None of the above for me.
Okay, so these luxury getaways we have talked about on the show actually. Serena has been to the Conrad and the Waldorf Astoria, and I'm sure Mitch in his 20, 30 years of traveling high on the hog has been to one of these. Twice, probably even 3 times. But have you guys been to an LXR?
I just booked one.
Of course you did. Where did you book your LXR, Serena?
So I booked the Oceana in Santa Monica for an upcoming trip, and it looks very luxurious. This is my favorite category of Hilton. Waldorfs, Conrads, LXR. This is where I belong.
I think there's an LXR in Kyoto, right?
There is, yes.
So maybe that should be on your list.
It should be. And I actually struggled with this when I was planning my trip to Japan, but I decided to go to the Park Hyatt instead because we had very limited time. I'm happy with my decision to stay at the Park Hyatt, but if I were to go back, I would definitely give the LXR a try.
Serena, didn't you also consider booking the LXR in Doha?
Oh, yes. Good memory, Miguel.
But you didn't, so it did
didn't.
look like a really nice property.
I know. I decided to just stick with you guys at that junky little Hyatt.
Where's the hang up button, Mitch? Can we hang up on her?
I didn't stay there. I stayed at the Park Hyatt Doha.
Hang up on both of them.
That LXR in Doha looks amazing. Okay, yes, Doha is one and done for me, but if I get a chance to stay at that LXR, I will leave the airport to go stay at that one. That's a really nice property from what I've seen.
If I'm not mistaken, they're like 2-level suites, right?
Yeah, with the plunge pool too. They look amazing.
Well, I'm going back to the junkie hotel in Doha.
If you want to splurge on some nice properties, I think Doha and Dubai, you can get some really good cash rates, especially in the off season. Those are the places that you can really splurge because the off season, there's just so many luxury properties across all brands. So that's what I'd look into.
In the luxurious getaways category, these are some of my favorite properties is the Waldorf and Conrad. And 2 of my favorites, you can go ahead and go to sleep now because I talk about these every episode that I can. It's the Waldorf and the Conrad in the Maldives. And these 2 properties, they're incredible. And Nicole, you're going to love the Conrad in the Maldives.
I have to tell you the story about the Waldorf Astoria. James is obsessed with coming to America. And we all know where that took place. So on our well, not my first trip, but his first trip to New York, which was just a few years ago, I had to take him to the Waldorf. And unfortunately, they were remodeling, so we couldn't even go into the lobby. Just random fact. This was like a lifelong dream to visit the Waldorf Astoria in New York. It just holds so much value, and I want to be able to go back. Maybe we could stay there.
Maybe we should do a meetup in New York. I think there's a lot of people in New York.
Oh my God, everything doesn't have to be a meetup.
Yes, it does. Why not?
It's the East Coast, Nicole. Nicole. Just take it in and accept it.
I'll go with it.
I think there's
That's
a lot of
win.
viewers and listeners that live in New York, because New York's a pretty big city. I think there'd be enough. If you live in New York and you listen or watch our show, please let us know in the comments that there's people there that would be willing to attend a meetup in New York sometime in the future.
Other than these three well-known brands, there are two other brands in this category. There is the Nomad, which I've heard a few things about. Also in this category is the Signia. So far, they only have 3 locations: Atlanta, Orlando, and San Jose. So there should be more of these popping up soon. I feel like, Serena, you might want to try these out. It's a different kind of modern luxury brand.
I will try it out. I've never heard of that before.
I stayed at the Nomad in Vegas. I don't know if it was part of Hilton or not, but the Nomad, which is on the top levels of the Park MGM, is part of the American Express Fine Hotels and Resorts collection. And I burned some of my FHR credits at the Nomad a couple years ago. It was okay. So I guess I have stayed at Hilton, but I didn't know it was a Hilton. Maybe it wasn't back then, but I guess it is now. I don't know.
The second category under the Hilton brand is the local escapes. These, according to Hilton, are considered immersive stays in the best neighborhoods. You have hotels like Canopy, Graduate by Hilton, Tempo by Hilton, and Motto by Hilton. I guess everything in this category has to be by Hilton.
So honestly, I've only heard of the first one, the Canopy. The other ones are all new to me.
These are more like lifestyle brands. The Tempo by Hilton is a kind of stylish hotel that emphasizes wellness and productivity. There is a Tempo in Times Square, and from my understanding, this is the only Tempo they have currently. There are predicted to open some more of them in the near future, but New York is the only one for now. Now, the Motto hotels, these are micro hotels with efficient designs and focus on more of a social space. There are Motto hotels in DC and one in Chelsea, New York. These are great for urban explorers who want to spend more time outside.
They sound like kind of like the Moxie hotels for Marriott. So, Nicole, you mentioned Hyatt. I had to mention Marriott in this episode.
I want people to know where our loyalty lies. It's very important. We're moving on to the premium experiences, and this is what Hilton's known for. Things like the Hilton branded hotel, and one of my favorites, the DoubleTree. The Hilton would be similar to a Hyatt Regency, and my favorite thing about DoubleTree are the cookies. Nyla has a friend that actually lives inside of a DoubleTree residence somewhere near downtown in Miami, and she has access to cookies every day. Every day.
I'd be selling those at school.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
I used to sell Mexican candy at school, so that's why that came to mind. Because I'm like, you know what? If I had free cookies every day, I'd put them in my backpack and sell them at school.
I sold everything too. When my dad used to come to the United States, I sold blow pops. I even sold individual Oreos. So I don't know if this DoubleTree residence is only one of its kind. I've never seen this before. So there's a part that is the hotel, and there's a part where people actually live in apartments. And it's a pretty big hotel. We've had our prom there for school at this location. We even order the cookies for prom as part of like a to-go bag for the girls.
What a great idea.
All right, let's talk about the curated collection. This is Curio and Tapestry. Hilton has a curated collection. This is more like a unique and distinct brand. And I don't think any of these are very similar to each other. They're not like cookie cutter type hotels. So this is the Curio collection and Tapestry collection. The Tapestry collection to me is very similar to the Andaz brand. It's independent boutique hotels that kind of take on the personality of the local artist or the neighborhood that it's situated in. This is suited for guests seeking something distinct but reliable.
That sounds like the Marriott autograph collection. Just saying.
No, I like the comparison. I think it's important for people to understand, because if you're loyal to a brand like Hyatt and you choose to stay at a competing brand, you would want to know what to compare it to. So you're like, okay, there's no Hyatt in the neighborhood, but I like Andaz. Which one of the Hilton properties would I like to stay at?
Yeah, because if you look at the Marriott's autograph collection, like no two hotels will be alike. They're all individual boutique hotels that just fly the Marriott brand. So I think these two brands that you're talking about, the Tapestry and the other one, I think they're kind of similar in that regard.
Let's get into the type of Hiltons that most people probably have stayed at. This is in the collection called A Suite for Every Guest. And if you are the parent of a traveling athlete, you've definitely stayed at one of these. So this is Embassy Suites, Homewood Suites, and Home 2. What happened?
No, I was just putting my hands up. I like Embassy Suites. Before I started with Points and Miles, that was like my go-to property because they have free breakfast, made-to-order omelets, and then every room's a suite. So I would always look out for Embassy Suites whenever I was traveling. But now with Points, I have more options. So they're lower on the list.
So can I share a story about Embassy Suites? So when Polrit and we sold our other house, we couldn't carry 2 mortgages at the time. So we had to sell the house, move out completely, and then buy another house. So there was this space between when we sold and we bought our new place. And this was during COVID. So we found an Embassy Suites in Arcadia and we lived there for 3 months after we sold our old house and before we moved into our new house. And we made a lot of points off of that. But the funny thing is the whole stay was completely less than what our mortgage was costing us each month in our old place. So we used all those points to go stay at the Waldorf Astoria in Maldives. So that's how we made all those points that time. Now, I wouldn't recommend living with your spouse in an Embassy Suites for about 3 months, but it's a great way to make some Hilton Honors points if you need some. Just saying.
That's perfect to have free breakfast. And did you have a manager's reception every evening as well?
Well, this was during COVID, so they didn't have any of that stuff. But yeah, the breakfast was in a bag and we went down and got our breakfast each morning in the bag. Yeah.
It sounds very Hampton Inn.
Mitch, I have a question. If it was considered a long-term stay, did you negotiate a rate? Because I've heard some people do that, negotiate a low rate, or if you stay certain number of dates, depending on the locality, they could waive some of those taxes and fees.
Yeah, I should have done that. But at the time, the rate, I'm not kidding, it was about $80 a night. It was somewhere between the $70 and $80 range. I already thought that was cheap enough as it was, but I should have negotiated that. But I always felt like we were going to get kicked out. I was nervous, right? Like I always kept coming up with this lie, like, oh, we're having construction done on our new house. It's taking longer. I didn't want them to kick us out because it was during COVID and I was worried, because a lot of people were doing weird things. So I just didn't want, risk that rate I was getting to get kicked out. But yeah, you should do that though. If you're going to stay there long term, negotiate with them.
Embassy Suites was my upgrade from what I thought was the best Hampton Inn at the time. And I was like, oh my God, there's happy hour. No matter where we were, we would have to come back to the hotel in time to get happy hour and then head back out. And having the suite available, especially with the eggs, Miguel, that was my living high on the hog back in the day.
Yeah. Made to order omelets. I'm like, what? Like, this is awesome.
I haven't stayed much at the Homewood Suites, but this weekend recently, I stayed at a Home 2. Now, here's something I don't think a lot of people know. And I found out actually after my stay that at the Home 2, you get half of the points per dollar you get at a Home 2 than at any other Hilton property. So normally you get 10 base points per dollar, but at a Home 2, you only get 5 points per dollar. I was very sad because I love this Home 2. The staff was amazing. Everyone was welcoming, went above and beyond, and this was a lower end hotel. And these group of people at this hotel, they were trained properly and their service was impeccable.
If I'm not mistaken, the True by Hilton, which I guess you'll get to later on, also doesn't give you as many points. And just to be fair here and objective, Marriott also has some of these properties that give you less points than all the other ones. So one I can think of off the top of my head is the Marriott Executive Apartments. So I stayed at those in Belgium, I believe. When I checked out, I was like, where's the rest of my points?
Yeah.
And then I looked it up and yeah, of course they had some chart you have to decipher to see how many points you earn because it's a different property.
I know it's a Hilton episode and I forgot to say this in our Marriott episode, but Miguel, the other thing about the apartments too is you don't get the qualifying nights. So we stayed at a couple of those in Bangkok and they're really great, right? Some of them have washer and dryers, but you don't get each qualifying night that you stay there. I think it's something like 3-1. For every 3 nights you stay there, you only get 1 qualifying night. So we're going to go ahead and splice this and put this in the Marriott episode that we had a couple of weeks ago.
We'll put a link from the Marriott episode to this one so you can get the full scoop.
But I'm glad you brought that up. It's an important thing, especially with the Hiltons too.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're planning your elite nights for the year. That's important to know.
You know who doesn't cut you short on points or nights? Just saying.
I could tell you they do sometimes under very little caveat.
Like stay 2 nights, get the third one free?
Yes, those. They got me good. I said, what a great deal. And I was like, where's the rest of my elite nights? And so this will go back to the Hyatt episode. But if you do one of these promotions that have stay 3 nights, get the 4th one free, or stay 2 nights, get the 3rd free, that free night is not an elite qualifying night for your status. So just putting it out there. Now, all right, back to a regularly scheduled programming with a Hilton.
There is a section called Elevated Essentials. This is another popular set of Hilton hotels. These are the Hilton Garden Inn, Hampton by Hilton, True by Hilton, and Spark by Hilton. So Spark is very new. True by Hilton is the one Miguel mentioned that you only get 5 points per dollar spent here. Hampton Inn and the Hilton Garden Inns, I'm sure we've all seen driving down the highway on those road trips. Serena, remember back in the day when you used to do road trips?
I remember.
When I first moved here and my school paid for us to go on a school trip and I stayed at a Hampton Inn and I was like, oh my God, they have breakfast in a bag. This is amazing. How far we have come. Can't tell when was the last time I stayed at a Hampton Inn. I probably would just roll right by it now.
I've stayed at a few Hampton Inns recently, mostly for positioning flights or staying near the airport the night before. And I did that because I was up until recently on somebody's friends and family list because they were Hilton employees. So I would get pretty good rates, but they don't work there anymore. So I guess Hampton's off the list now.
Honorable mentions in the Hilton brands are Hilton Grand Vacation. This is their timeshare type property, and Auto Camp for all of you who love the outdoors. And I'm sorry to have to bring up Hyatt again, but something they snatched from Hyatt, small luxury hotels. I'm still mourning the loss of that one. I don't know. I don't think you'll catch me at an auto camp. I'm not one for camping.
I would actually definitely consider those. It's glamping. It's not roughing it.
Outside.
It is
outside.
No, you're enclosed in an airstream.
That is outside.
It's different. But I actually want to stay at an auto camp one day.
I will be there to support you.
I don't camp either, Nicole, but I glamp. I will glamp.
I would love to stay at the Hilton Grand Vacations. I've heard they have tons of promotion where you could get extra Hilton points, great deals. You just have to sign up for a 90-minute timeshare, and listen to the blah, blah, blah. But if you find a good deal, it might be worth your while to blah, blah, blah for 90 minutes and listen to the blah, blah, blah.
So I want to know what your favorite Hilton property that you stayed at is, and you cannot pick Waldorf or Conrad, Maldives, Serena, and Mitch. Mitch, please follow the rules. Do not mention the Maldives. Any other Hilton property that has been one of your favorite, whether it was because of the property or the service or the location. What is your favorite Hilton property?
Okay, Miguel, since I can't mention the Maldives, I am going to say a couple. I'm going to mention the Waldorf Seychelles, and I'm so glad that we're coming back to this luxury collection to talk about again, because I have to say the whole Waldorf Astoria brand, which is Hilton's flagship luxury brand, it is far and away better than Park Hyatt, which is Hyatt's flagship brand. I have to say that Waldorf is so much better because I feel that the service is above and beyond what I could have possibly imagined. I was at the Waldorf Seychelles last month. Everywhere we went, we were addressed by name from people that I hadn't even met, and they knew us. Yes, occupancy was only 15%, so I'm sure it was easy for them to know our name, but I was so impressed. We left with all these goodies. We got metal luggage tags that were personalized. We had special tea that they made specific for this island, and they gave it to us as a going away gift.
So, Serena, the nail clippers and the little Lalabo bottles, that's not enough? What about the ramen noodles?
Doesn't even compare. And I also want to mention Conrad. Conrad Osaka was my favorite Conrad. I've been to Conrad Bora Bora, and I still like the one in Osaka better because of the service, the amazing breakfast, and the executive lounge. Great experience there. I mean, that's one of those properties where I stepped off the elevator and I said, wow, when I walked off that elevator and I saw that view from the top floor. I want to dedicate this episode to Carlos. He is one of our viewers on YouTube. Carlos is a big Hilton fan. He also loved his stay at the Conrad Osaka too recently. So I want to say, hi, Carlos. This show is for you.
Okay, Miguel, I accept your challenge and I will follow the rules on this one. So one of my favorite ones that I've stayed at is the Conrad Centennial Singapore. Fantastic property. Not only the location, but the lounge, like you had mentioned, Serena. The room, it was great. The service was great there too. The breakfast, wow, incredible. I did book this though with the Amex Fine Hotels and Resorts because I had to burn that credit. And the buffet downstairs, the breakfast came with my stay. It was extensive. They had a congee station, egg station, lots and lots of food. This was a great breakfast. Many different options. Love this place. I'd go back and stay again. The standard points stay there, about 70,000 Hilton points a night. That isn't bad at all if you factor in that you go 2-to-1 for American Express, or is it 1-to-2? So it'd be about 35,000 points, American Express points, which I think is a great deal.
My favorite Hilton hotel, it's a toss-up between, let me check the two that I've stayed at. The one this weekend was great. It's a newer hotel. It's home to in Tampa. Again, the service was great. The room was nice, clean. They just had everything. They even had a Peloton in the gym. They had a washer and dryer. The pool was great. The outside barbecue area was amazing. The only downfall was that I only got half the points and I pay with my Hilton card. So I was like, could have put it on something else, and I would gladly go back there. The staff was amazing.
Like Nicole, I don't have many Hiltons that I've stayed at to be able to compare. One that comes to mind is one that I booked. I think it was also either through the Fine Hotels and Resorts or the Hotel Collection with American Express, is a Curio Collection in Guadalajara, in Mexico. It's like Hotel 1970, but I think it's been rebranded. I don't think it's Curio Collection anymore. I think it's just a regular Hilton. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of anything special about it, but that's the only one that comes to mind other than, the regular Embassy Suites with some free made-to-order omelets. We want to know what's your favorite Hilton property that you stayed at. Please let us know in the comments below. And now let's go on to how to earn all these Hilton points so you could stay at Hilton properties.
We're going to start by talking about my favorite way to earn Hilton points, and that's with the credit cards, of course. The Hilton credit cards have limited time offers right now, and they end January 8th, 2025. So you still have time to pick up these cards if you're interested in more Hilton points. First is the Hilton Honors American Express card. This card has no annual fee and has an elevated 100,000 bonus points if you spend $2,000 in 6 months. Then there's the Hilton American Express Surpass card. This card has a 165,000 welcome offer if you spend $3,000 in 6 months. And it has a $150 annual fee. There's also the Hilton Honors American Express Aspire Card. This card has a $175,000 welcome offer after you spend $6,000 in 6 months, and the annual fee is $550. And then lastly, Hilton also has a business card from American Express, and that has a $175,000 welcome offer when you spend $8,000 in 6 months. So now let's talk about these Hilton cards. Which of these cards do you guys have?
0. I don't have any cards. Any Hilton cards yet.
I have the Surpass card. This is my only hotel card. I can't believe my only hotel card is a Hilton card. But I saw the value and it was definitely worth it.
Right now, I am down just to the American Express Hilton business card. But if I could and get the sign-up bonus again, I would get the Hilton Aspire card just for the benefits of that card.
That might be my next one, Mitch.
I have no doubt in my mind that at some point I will get the Aspire card. I think that card is overpowered and has great benefits, even with a high annual fee with that free night certificate and the diamond status. I think it's a really card and those credits that it comes with. So
I talked about this at the beginning of the show, the Hilton Honors Aspire card from American Express. I want to know what you all think because, we know credit cards pretty well. Do you think this card is the best hotel credit card that there is on the market right now out of Marriott, Hyatt, Hilton, IHG, and Nicole's Old Navy card? Do you think that the Aspire card is one of the best hotel cards out there?
That's my word. That's totally my word.
It does have a high annual fee, but all the perks and benefits that it comes with, I think, make up well worth the annual fee. It comes with airline credits, resort credits, a free night certificate that you can practically use at any property, and it comes with Hilton Diamond status, which is their top tier status. I think this card is overpowered and underrated in a way. So I have no doubt in my mind at some point I will get this card.
I agree. I've had this card for many years. I also like this card because you will get a free night reward after you get approved for this card, which is very unusual. You get a free night right off the bat, and then you also get one every year thereafter. You're going to have to wait about 2 months after you get the approval to get this free night, but I think that's very valuable, especially if you have a big stay coming up that you want to use it at. But I also will say at the same time, I'm thinking of downgrading my Aspire card. And that's because I don't have any aspirational Hilton stays planned for next year. And this card comes with a $400 resort credit, which is paid out $200 semi-annually, and you can only use it at a select list of resorts. Now, when I was at the Waldorf Seychelles, it's a new property, it wasn't on this list. And I wasn't sure if I would get the credit when I used my Aspire card there, but it turned out that I did get the credit. And so I was really surprised. So that list that they have out there, it could be your mileage may vary. I'm still hesitant to keep this card because I don't know about my plans for next year.
I will say that when I do get this card, it'll likely be when the other cards, the Surpass and the business card and the regular honors card, have a free night certificate as part of the welcome offer. That way I could pair a bunch of these certificates together and plan some big aspirational properties. I guess I'm going to have to do the Waldorf at some point or a Conrad. But yeah, so for the other cards, I'd probably wait until there's a free night certificate attached. But for this card, I would probably get it before going so I could get that diamond status.
Serena, you had brought up a really good point about the quarterly credits or biannually credits that you now get on these American Express cards from Hilton. And can I just talk about these little things that I have here, these gift cards from Hilton? So now that the credit cards from American Express are giving the quarterly credits, it's really been talked about it's a good way to cash in on this credit if you don't have a Hilton stay. And as much like, everything in points and miles, we're always looking for ways to make sure that we maximize our credits. I wanted to share my recent experience trying to actually use these gift cards, and it isn't all rainbows and butterflies as some people would have you believe. So I've got about $200 in these gift cards, some quarterly credits I've been able to burn on the credit card, no problem. But when I'm not able to use those, I've been getting these gift cards right here. Anyway, we had a stay back in New York at the DoubleTree, checked in, asked if they took the gift cards. Oh yeah, you can use them. Pay on your way out. No problem. Checkout time came, and then we were told we aren't taking them. Our machine doesn't work. It was a big battle between me and them. Ended up having to advocate for myself. I got 10,000 Hilton points out of that. The second time I've tried to use these gift cards now was our recent trip down to Mexico City. And you may have seen in our show last week that Serena and we stayed at a Hilton down there. Now, I do have to say the front desk staff, very happy to try to use these gift cards for me. And we did everything. We tried to run it as a credit card. I did $10 less than the total of the gift card. Nothing. Every time it came back, declined. I did find this Flyer Talk thread, and it seems I'm not the only one that's been having this issue. Lots of other people are having the same thing. I'll put the link to that Flyer Talk thread in the show notes below. But yeah, I don't think getting Hilton gift cards might be a good avenue because it just depends on what property you're going to try to use them at. Serena, did you have any luck at the Hilton in Mexico City?
I did not, but I was upstairs in the executive lounge talking to one of the reps up there. And I also tried to use my Hilton gift cards to close out my bill. The fine print on these gift cards say that you can use these gift cards as long as the property has an American Express machine. They went and got the American Express machine, but it didn't work. So it's very unfortunate that we have these gift cards, but we can't use them. I hear that definitely internationally, you're going to have a very tough time. I might try to use at a Hilton locally and see what kind of luck I have. Another fallback is to complain to Hilton about it, and maybe they will compensate us for it and give us our money back. Because if we tried multiple times to use it, we're not having any luck, I think that Hilton will probably give us our money back if we tell them.
Just tell him what you told him. I am paying then.
That's a great story.
So what do we do with these credits that we have on these cards, right? If we can't buy gift cards anymore, there is one other thing that you might want to try. There is this points and money option when you're booking a hotel on the Hilton website. When you're going to book a stay with points, you have the option to use points and money. You'll see a slider on the checkout option, and you can move that slider to customize your price. So if I move this slider to the left, instead of paying the full 65,000 Hilton points for this one night, I would instead pay 59,000 Hilton points and 47 euros in this case. I would then use my Hilton Surpass card, which has a $50 quarterly Hilton credit, to pay for this stay. And I should be able to get the credit for that since I'm using it on the Hilton website. So I haven't tried this myself yet, but in theory, I think it will work. So this is something that you can try if you have some credits on your Hilton cards that you need to use. Let's talk about some other ways we can earn Hilton points aside from the credit cards. As Mitch mentioned earlier, you can transfer points from American Express to Hilton at a 1-to-2 ratio. Sometimes American Express has transfer bonuses that range from 25% to 50%. So you might want to look out for those. You can also transfer to Hilton from Bilt at a 1-to-1 ratio. You can also link Hilton with your Lyft account and get 2 to 3x on Lyft rides. There's also the Hilton Honors Dining program where you can link any card to the program, and you'd want to link a card that earns a high multiplier on dining and earn extra points when you dine at a restaurant that participates in this program. You can also buy points. Lots of times there are promotions for buying points, and often you'll see 100% bonus when you buy Hilton points. It's important to note that you can pool points with your family members and friends. You can transfer points to any other Hilton member. Each member can send up to 500,000 points, and each member can receive up to 2 million points. There is a maximum of 6 transfers per calendar year. It's also important to note that points expire after 24 months of inactivity, Nicole. So be careful. Don't lose those Hilton points. But there are many ways to keep your Hilton points alive, such as using your credit card. Next, let's talk about my favorite part, how to redeem your Hilton points. So if you don't know where to start when you're looking at Hilton properties, Hilton has a Points Explorer tool. This is a tool that shows you where you can go with the points that you have. So let's say you opened the no annual fee Hilton Amex card for you and your P2, and now you have a total of 200,000 points from the welcome offer on getting these 2 cards. You might want to spend 4 nights somewhere in Europe for 50,000 points per night. This tool can help narrow down the locations for you. So if you put in 50,000 points, Europe, and then click Discover Destinations, you can see there are a lot of options in Europe for you. And if I narrow it down further, you can see that there are a number of places in Paris you can stay at. The points range will vary depending on the property and your dates, but this tool can help you when you don't know where to start. And just be careful because the results you get might not always be accurate, but I think it's a good starting point. Another thing I love about redeeming Hilton points is the 5th night free. If you use points to redeem for a Hilton stay, you would book for 4 nights and you get the 5th night free, which is a great deal. I did this when I booked my Waldorf Astoria Seychelles booking, and it turned out to be such a great value because I essentially got 1 night without having to pay with points.
Math check. What is that, Nicole? That's 20% off? 5th night free?
It is, right?
Yes. I was like, is it 20, 25, carry the 1, 20.
Okay, another way to redeem points, and Nicole, I want you to listen up because I got a hot tip for you, okay? So somewhat like Marriott, Hilton offers these experiences that you can use your Hilton points for as well. Now, this is nowhere near anywhere as good as what you're going to find with Marriott. However, there are a couple of things to be aware of because I know a couple of people that have a lot of Hilton points, so this might be an option to keep in mind. So you go onto the website and a couple things pop up, and one that came up is an exclusive K-pop experience. This looked pretty interesting. Immerse yourself in this world of K-pop with access to the 2024 Music Band Global Festival. It's one of the largest K-pop concerts in the world. You're going to get 2 nights stay, a panoramic suite at the Hilton Fukuoka, and it's conveniently located just steps from where they're going to have this concert venue. So here's what the package includes. It includes 2 tickets to the Music Bank Global Festival for December 15th. You get 2 nights in this panoramic suite, and you get in-room breakfast as well. So fun fact, right now, currently it's going for about 100,000 points. That's where it's bid at. So standard rooms at this property, 40,000 points a night. So hey, if you can get down to the south part of Japan, you might want to look at one of these packages. Okay. So now one that you might be interested in, Nicole, since you are headed to the Maldives and you're going to be staying at the Conrad, is the Cocktails Under the Sea package. Now we have done this underwater restaurant there. It's called Itha. Well, now we did lunch down there because,
It's a good restaurant.
That's what I needed. Dinner was outrageous. Anyway, I didn't want to pay for that. But for 25,000 Hilton Honors points per person, Nicole, you get the light canapes. And hey, any food in the Maldives, that's a good deal. That's included with something that you're going to buy. You get a glass of champagne. It's like their cocktail hour. And you get an hour down there to take all the video footage that you want. They call this the visiting hour. So just keep this in mind. You got to book this 7 days in advance, and it's $100 plus per person. And we all know what the plus is, right? I taught you that. It's like 24% add-on. It's the tip of the tax. Yes. So it's going to end up to be about $124. So not a bad deal there, Nicole, if you want to go to this underwater restaurant. It was one of the first underwater restaurants in the Maldives. So not bad. 25,000 Hilton points for this experience.
I would do that. Well, I did do it, but I would do it if I were you, Nicole. It's the only way you're going to get down there. They don't let you go down and visit. You have to pay for something for access. And I know you like that footage. I know you like.
We don't have any press credentials. Let's get to the points to tell them that we're
the guy over there.
Maybe that should be a challenge for you. Try to get in without paying for something.
Oh, okay. Not pay. Oh, you had me. Challenge accepted. I'm going to try and work my way down there and see if I can get in for free.
I expect multiple camera angle B-rolls from you, Nicole. Multiple camera angles.
They
multiple
need to be, and they better be landscape. None of that vertical crap.
I'm going to ask the guy that let me down there for free to take the video.
You should have told Nicole it was a lounge and she would have found herself down there for sure.
So I also recently booked a Hilton experience, and this was for my trip to the Waldorf Seychelles. It's this tiny little propeller plane. The flight is 20 minutes long, and you're required to take it from the Seychelles airport to Platte Island in order to stay at Waldorf Seychelles. And this plane ride cost $750 round trip per person. I didn't want to pay that. So instead, I used 100,000 Hilton points to book it for each of us. Is that great value? I don't really care. I'm not going to spend $750 per person. So definitely check out these Hilton experiences. They're worth a look.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Serena, because I saw that on the list and that was going to be one of my questions to you. And now I just got my answer. Would you rather pay the $750 or 100,000 Hilton Honors points for the plane? And yeah, I don't think that's a bad deal because it is a round trip flight, right?
It is, yeah. It's a 20-minute flight.
The way I would look at it, and Nicole, you can follow along because you're a math teacher, is sometimes when they have a promotion to buy Hilton points, you could buy 100,000 Hilton points for $500. So even if you used all your points for the stay and there's a promotion where you can buy Hilton points for half a cent per point, you're spending $500 on these points instead of the $750 cash. So I think it makes sense.
Great value.
Yeah.
As far as redeeming Hilton points for Hilton properties, Hilton has a dynamic award chart, which means that the points required for a stay are usually correlated to the cash price, but there are some properties that will offer you better value when you redeem those points. So I'm just going to go over a few properties that you might want to look into if you have some Hilton points and you want to get the most bang for your buck. You want to check out some of these properties. The first one on my list is one that used to be part of Hyatt and the small luxury hotel collection, and I'm talking about Kalala Island. This resort is on a private island and only has 4 suites available. It's all inclusive, and sometimes you can find standard award availability for 150,000 Hilton points. The cash rate starts at about $500 per night. Now, this is a property that was on my bucket list when it was part of Hyatt. Now that it's moved over to Hilton, I still want to go check it out, but not as bad. Another property that is high on my list is the Waldorf Astoria Los Cabos Pedregal. This is in Cabo. You can find standard award nights starting at 120,000 points per night. The cash rate at this property is insane and often goes for over $2,000 per night. So this is a great use of both Hilton points or those free night certificates that you get with either the Aspire card or with a welcome offer when they do have those welcome offers on the other cards. Another property is a Semi-Niches all-inclusive resort. This is in the Dominican Republic, and you can find standard rates here at 100,000 points per night, and the equivalent cash rate for some of those nights starts at $500. I think this is a good use of Hilton points because it is an all-inclusive resort. Another property is the one Serena just booked. It's the Oceana Santa Monica LXR Hotels and Resorts. You can find nights here starting at 105,000 Hilton points when the cash equivalent is $1,000 per night or more. And the last property I want to mention is in Hawaii. That's the Grand Wailea, which is a Waldorf Astoria property. You can book this for as few as 110,000 points per night, and the cash equivalent rate is about $700 per night. So I think it's another pretty good use of Hilton points.
So let's talk about these free night certificates, or what Hilton calls them, free night rewards. You can earn these with credit cards. They come sometimes as a welcome offer. They come with the Aspire card, and you can also earn them by spending a certain amount on the credit cards. So these free night certificates are valid for any night of the week and only if a property has standard award availability. If you can't find your free night certificate when you log into your account, you might want to try looking on the app. I can't seem to find mine when I log in on the desktop, but I can always see them when I log in on the app. And when you're redeeming these certificates, you can either call Hilton or contact them via message through the X app. Now, these certificates have an expiration date, and these are stay-by dates, not book-by dates. If a certificate is expiring on January 30th, for example, you have to have checked out by that date. Hilton might be able to extend the expiration for you by 2 weeks if you ask nicely. I had a booking that was a week after my certificate expired, and they were nice enough to extend it for me so that I could use it for my stay. You can also use free night certificates in combination with points at a property if the property, for example, has a 3-night minimum. I recently did this where I had a booking at the Canaves Epitome in Santorini in Greece. I used one free night certificate along with points, and I was able to call Hilton and have that as one booking for me. This property has a 3-night minimum, so I was able to use the certificate and the points together.
This is the same method I used to book the Conrad, where we had the free night certificate and some points, and I called in to book the 2 nights, one with the certificate and the remainder with the points, and it worked out perfectly.
So if you are looking for some options to use your free night certificate, way back in episode 2 from last year, I listed a bunch of properties, and that list is pretty much the same. These are great places where you can redeem these certificates for. But I want to know where you guys would redeem your certificates for.
I don't know what I said back then because that was a while back, but I think one of the first places that I would do it is I really want to go to the Waldorf Astoria in Los Cabos. So I've heard that it's a great property, much better than the Hyatt option. Sorry, Nicole. There's a Hyatt option called the Cape. It's a Thompson hotel there, but I've heard the Waldorf Astoria goes above and beyond.
Okay.
As Waldorf does.
And plus, it's really close, right? So I don't have to fly all the way to the Maldives or somewhere else a few hours away from here. So pretty good option, I think, for a nice weekend getaway.
I would like to use my Hilton free night certificate at the Park Hyatt Kyoto.
Oh my God.
But since I can't, I would love to go to the Conrad in Osaka. How about you, Mitch?
One of the properties that I want to try, top of my list, is the Conrad Koh Samui, and it's located on the Thai island of Samui, and it's built into the side of a mountain on the southwest corner. I've read some great things about this property. The standard room on points that you can get there with one of these certificates, it's a villa and you get your own little pool that comes with it. So it goes for about 95,000 Hilton points a night. But I hear the breakfast is good. Rooms are great. Got a great view. We had this on our list. We wanted to go there. This was pre-COVID and it just canceled. But yeah, it's on my short list of Serena properties. As she mentions her list, it's on my list of properties that I would use one of my certificates for.
Now, there's a Waldorf that's opening in Costa Rica, and I'm excited to go there one day. I wasn't excited to go to Costa Rica with the Andaz, but since there's going to be a Waldorf there, I am now excited to go. Now, we want to hear from you. Where would you use your free night certificate? Let us know in the comments below.
Hilton has 4 tiers for elite status. Starting out at 0 nights, all you have to do is create an account and you will be a Hilton Honors member. The benefits for Hilton Honors members are guaranteed Hilton discount rate, points towards free nights, no resort fees on reward stays. You get digital check-in and check-out, and you get to choose your room. I actually really love this feature. You get a digital key and free Wi-Fi. The second level to Hilton Honors Elite status is Silver status, which is at 10 nights. With Silver status, you'll earn 20% bonus points on your stays, free bottle of water, and the most coveted 5th night free. Now, Serena mentioned this earlier, and it's not all members that have the 5th night free after spending 4 nights. You have to be a Silver member or above to get that 5th night free. The third level is gold status. Now you can get gold status just by holding certain credit cards, 2 of which are the American Express Platinum and the American Express Business Platinum. With gold status, you get 80% bonus points on stays. You'll get space available room upgrades. And at some resorts or hotels, you get a daily food and beverage credit or continental breakfast. Now the most coveted status is the diamond status, and this is at 60 nights. You'll get milestone bonuses, 100-point bonus earnings on stays. You get space available room upgrade, executive lounge access, not just regular Wi-Fi, but premium Wi-Fi, and a 48-hour room guarantee. You can also use your diamond status to gift elite status to someone else. So on the top tier status, Hilton is the only hotel brand that allows you to get top tier status with just holding a credit card. If you have the Hilton Aspire card, you automatically get Hilton Diamond status. And I love Hyatt, but Hyatt doesn't have that. So if you want elite status with just a credit card, Hilton's definitely the way to go.
All right, everybody here, what is your current Hilton status? Are we going to do a reveal your thing like they did with Hyatt? Let me see. I think I'm just silver. I'm silver.
With only 2 Hilton properties under my belt, I'm at gold status. Thanks to the Amex Platinum.
For some reason, I tried to link it and it says it didn't qualify. I don't know. I never really looked further into it, but right now I'm silver status. I did do a status challenge. Hilton often has these Hilton status challenges where you could either request it online or call in, and they'll give you one of these statuses and you have to complete the challenge, which is stay X number of nights so you could keep that status and extend it for the next following year. So you don't have status and you don't have one of these credit cards that give you automatic elite status with Hilton, you could try one of these status challenges right before you're about to stay with Hilton.
Like you, Nicole, I have gold status as well, and that is brought to us by the American Express Platinum card. I will say though, when it comes to the status and the benefits, I may be in the minority on this, but I'm okay with not getting the breakfast buffet or whatever the offering is in the United States, because I'm going to be really honest, I think a lot of the breakfasts in the US, they kind of suck. If I'm going to dinner later or whatever, I appreciate having that credit, being able to pay for some of the food if I'm going to do room service or whatever. But here's a little hot tip for you. What you do is, even if you're staying by yourself, make sure you book the room for 2 people, because sometimes automatically that credit gets applied for 2 people, even though there's 1 person in the room. In the United States, of course. I'm just a gold. That's it. What about you, Serena?
I'm just a gold too, brought to you by American Express. My husband has the Aspire card and he's the diamond member. So I book all Hilton stays in his name. So let's talk about the cards that give you automatic gold status. That will be the Hilton American Express Surpass card, the Hilton Honors American Express Business card, the American Express Platinum card, and the American Express Business Platinum card. Regarding the breakfast benefit, for Gold and Diamond members in the US, you are offered a food and beverage credit. But outside the US, Gold and Diamond members typically will get full breakfast covered. So of course, I always try to stay at Hilton's outside the US. But I do want to mention something about being a Diamond member and this breakfast benefit. It typically only covers the member and one additional guest. So if you have 4 people in your family, for example, they might not cover your children.
For example, Nicole.
But Nicole, there is light at the end of the tunnel. All you have to do is ask nicely and they might cover your children. I think all it takes is asking. I haven't been charged for my kids yet. I know your kids are older. I think you'll be able to get away with it with your charm.
Oh, okay.
I think something else, Serena, that comes to my mind from your episode where you went to Bora Bora. And
oh, don't remind me.
You stayed at the Conrad there. And I think it's important to note that one of the key words in all of that is continental portion of the breakfast. And we all know that's a big, YMMV type of situation.
Definitely.
But I remember you talking about that and you said that you got the crepes and you had to pay extra if you wanted the hot breakfast, right?
Yes, the hot breakfast was extra for me. Now, for some reason, everyone I know who went before me and who went after me got the full breakfast. So I don't know if it was my bad review that had something to do with that. And they decided to change their tune. But when we were there, we only got the continental breakfast, unfortunately.
But I think the key word there is, your mileage may vary because some of these properties, they have lounges. So they would have a full breakfast in the lounge if you would get it there. But it's kind of one of those things that depends on the property and how, they want to stick it to you or not.
Sticking it to you is not good.
Yeah, no, it's not.
So let's talk about the executive lounges, which is the benefit of being a Diamond member. I love this benefit.
My only experience with a Hilton lounge was with you guys in Mexico City. Actually, no, I didn't go up there.
You were not there, Miguel. You decided to leave us.
I meant lobby. I was in the lobby.
You were in the lobby. You missed going to the lounge and you missed meeting Julia.
Well, you know what? I had such a great time in the lobby with you guys. I thought that was the executive lounge, but sorry, I didn't go up there.
There was just no food or drink.
Listen, as a lover of lounges, the executive lounge in Mexico City, piqued my interest. I'm like, ooh, what do the other executive lounge look like? Might be able to win me over.
I think Nicole liked how they delivered cocktails to our table.
Yes. I'm not a fan of mixing my own cocktails, so this was a win.
I did visit an executive lounge at Marriott last week. I could talk about that.
No,
this
is not the show,
episode.
Miguel.
Okay. They had a pasta station. It was pretty good.
So now for the big question. Is the Hilton Honors program worth it? What do you guys think?
If your name is Carlos, yes.
Oh,
Carlos, we do appreciate you watching our show, even when Nicole talks about Hyatt all the time.
Is it worth it? Absolutely. But I think everybody needs to evaluate what properties they want to stay at. And you want to maximize the Hilton points that you earn. But also you have to be careful when redeeming your points, right? So you want to find what they call standard award availability for some of these properties. So at one of these aspirational properties like Waldorf Astoria, whether the standard rate is 120,000 points or 150,000 points per night, I wouldn't spend more than that. I would wait until some of those nights are available because I know that's the lowest I would have to pay. I would also like to pair that with the 5th free night. So for me, redeeming Hilton points at one of these properties at the standard rate, that's the key to making it worth it. If you're not sure how to find standard rates for the property that you want to stay out, I do recommend that you check out MaxMyPoint. We do have a discount code in the show notes. This tool will give you a calendar with both the cash rates and the points required for every night of the calendar year. It's an easy way to see which nights you can book with points and whether they have standard award availability. So check out the show notes.
I would say for aspirational properties, it is definitely worth it. If you're going to use your points to stay at a Hampton Inn, don't even bother. You want to take your points and go to the Waldorf Astoria, Conrad, Beverly Hills, Waldorf Astoria, any of these properties that you could use your free night certificate and get maximum value, definitely worth it there. Other than that, go to a Marriott.
But Nicole, at Marriott, if you use points for stays, you'd still have to pay a resort fee. At Hilton, no resort fees on award stays, which is something I love about Hilton too. I think it's a great program. If you like luxury like I do, you can't sleep on Hilton at all because Waldorf is the best.
So if you ask the question, is it worth it? I'm going to be able to answer this without including anything about the Maldives in my answer.
Surprise, surprise.
What I would say is absolutely there is value in the Hilton Honors program. And my two favorite things about it is number one, you can get that American Express Hilton Aspire Credit Card. And if you work it right, you can almost make a little bit of money off of that just by all the benefits that you get with that. But my other favorite feature about the program is the points pooling. Being able to points pool with your P2 or whoever you want, that is a great feature. I've done that a couple of times now, and you would be able, well, I thought I was going to be able to do it, but I can't. If you and your P2 got about 4 Hilton credit cards, 2 each, you'd be able to pull all the points into one account and you'd be able to do 5 nights at the Waldorf Astoria Maldives. So,
Whoa.
Wait, you said you weren't
going to talk about the Maldives.
I tried. It wasn't going to work.
Disqualified.
Yeah. But yeah, there is some great value in the Hilton Honors program.
Long story short, Maldives equals Hilton. Hilton equals Maldives equals Waldorf Astoria. That's it. Thanks for
Wait, what
watching.
kind of math was that? What?
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Confused me.
Yeah.
That was girl math, okay? That was Hilton math.
That's it for now. I want to thank all of our hosts. It's Serena.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Miguel.
Later.
And we're going to see you next week, Nicole.
See you guys next week.
And I'm Shannon. Make sure you sign up for our email newsletter. Just snap the QR code right now on your screen for the latest and everything going on in the points and miles world. And for everyone coming to our meetup in LA tomorrow, we are very excited to see you. We're going to have some fun and a couple of surprises. And we're going to make sure to post a lot on our Instagram story so you can follow us there. And Nicole is going to be doing a live Instagram and YouTube from our meetup. So watch for that.
See you guys tomorrow. We can't wait to see you at our meetup. And a special thank you to McPrice Myers Wine for providing the welcome drink at our meetup tomorrow.
Be on time. We only got so much. And we'll see you all here next Friday. And we're going to talk about everything Delta Airlines Sky Miles. Thank you for watching and listening.
Let's get to the points.com.